My name is Alan Fuqua. I'm the president of the board of directors for the council. It is an incredible honor that humbles me every time I even think about it, for several reasons. One is I've had the honor to work with some amazing people in this room and watch them do wonderful things for people, accomplish things that nobody even thought about. Secondly, I'm always impressed with the number of people who rally and respond to the need that is out there. And then third, and most important, every time I have the opportunity to be around the people that we serve and see the need that they have and the needs that they have and see the professionals working what they do, it takes me to a place certainly personally that's tremendously humbling. We're going to get to honor a couple of people here in a second. And for me, certainly the highlight of the year from a content standpoint is getting to hear from the award winners and what they do and to talk about the stories of who they serve. It is certainly why we're here and why we're doing what we do tonight. I want to welcome you. I want to thank you for being here. This takes effort. It takes thought. Everybody is incredibly busy. We're very fortunate that way. We're incredibly busy. We have a lot of commitments, and for you to take time out of your schedule to be here honors, I think, the mission of this group and honors the struggle that so many people that we are committed to serving have. And so thank you for being here. I would like to take here at the beginning a few minutes to recognize some people. First and foremost, as I was talking to Jeffrey just a little while ago, Jeff, and thanking him, and he said, well, we like to entertain, and I made it clear that I like to be entertained. And so, so that really works very well for me, and I see many of you share my interest. Patty, Jeff, thanks so much. It's almost tough to concentrate because we need to study. We need to experience this amazing space, but thank you for sharing it. It is a great gift. And obviously, we've already had an interesting night. As with these things, there can be a moment where you say, that wasn't supposed to work like that. And what's great is Patty and they just step into the middle and say, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. It's great to be a human being. It's great to meet other human beings, It really is. Because most of us spend most of our time trying to imply that, in fact, I am not a human being. I'm much, much better. So thanks again. We'll probably only say that about a dozen more times. So, we have our special guest here also tonight, Debbie Knaus is here. Debbie is going to be our special event speaker. You're not speaking yet. Oh no, you have to endure more until we have the fun. But we're very fortunate to have Debbie as our breakfast speaker for here October 8th, right?
It's still October 8th.
Yeah, well, gee whiz. She is here. She's also brought some special guests with her. We're very glad that she brought them tonight, but we're going to hear from Debbie in just a few minutes. Our event sponsors. I am going to take a moment to kind of read a list because, once again, these are the people who align themselves with us, and I think they're always worthy of that. Let me just run down our Power Prevention sponsors include this year BDO, Care and Treatment Center, Barry Drees, Ernst & Young, or is it just EY now? Is it just EY?
EY.
Can we, if I say NY, does lightning strike me? No. Okay, thanks. Frost Bank, Graham Cracker Graphics, one of our oldest and dearest sponsors, Graham Cracker Graphics. Lita Hodges, Betsy and Bill Jessamine, although I guess with that sponsorship, there's no corks to be pulled this year, Bill. A significant disappointment for me. Sorry. Eddie King of King Architectural Metals. Of course, Patty and Jeff Jones. KPMG, La Hacienda, Lock Lord, KCH Travel Portfolio, Susan McAvoy, John and Ellen McStay, Mike and Debbie Maripolsky, because you don't do anything else. Thank God at least you're sponsoring. That's something I was going to allude to at the breakfast. No, at the breakfast. It's interesting. MHBT, Bill Henry, Pat, and Lauren Arthur. John Moak at Wells Fargo Advisors. John was our president last year, and I fill big shoes there. Margot and Ross Perot. Has anybody heard of them? Okay. William C. Pickens Jr., another familiar name. Cindy and Howard Rashofsky. Right Step, Spirit Lodge. Catherine Rose, Sante Center for Healing. Sabrina and Adam Schiller. Jan and Jim Showers. Marianne and David Siller. Strasburger and Price. Texas Instruments, Turley Law Firm, Thompson Knight, and Winstead. We have a lot of institutional contributions here that we really appreciate, but understand this, there's a lot of individuals that chose to contribute to that, and every institution has some individuals, and we're once again humbled that you would sponsor this and appreciative. Let's give our sponsors a hand, please. Okay, now we're going to do the formal waving of the hands. And so as I call out a particular group, I want you to wave your hand. First, I'd like to recognize these are superstars. Okay, these are superstars. This is the Breakfast Planning Committee, just a second. This group, I've been watching this for a number of years, and each year there's so much work that goes into it, and you wonder what's going to come back. And each year it gets a little better and a little better and a little better. And this year, I'm sorry, but we're kicking ass. It is amazing. It is amazing. And it is because these people come to play. They come to think about how they can make a difference, what they can do, and they're an impressive group. If you don't mind, please hold your hand up and let's give you some appreciation right now. Everyone that's on the Breakfast Planning Committee, please hold up your hand, please. The other side of that coin is I would not want to make these people mad at me. I don't know where my body would end, but I know it wouldn't end well. They are very, very stout people. Next, I'd like to recognize the board members and the advisory board members. Once again, this is a group that has a long-term commitment to support the mission of our council. We are largely starred as ignorant people who have an affinity and a belief in the importance of this mission, and the door is opened to those people who want to come in and do something and make something happen. And what's amazing, I was reflecting with someone earlier, it's hard enough to hire people who will make something happen for you and pay them. What's amazing is when you get a bunch of volunteers and every one of them makes something happen because this is what they want to. It's humbling and it's inspiring. As the old movie cliche is, it makes you want to be a better person because all of them are being better people. And so for all of you on the board and the advisory committee, please give a wave and let's give them a hand, please. For some reason, Catherine has decided not to be a part of that group. And so because of that, you are punished, and I say your name out loud. Okay? Next, we'd like to recognize the people that get up every morning to the mission. Every single morning. And many times go to bed late. We've got some senior staff here with us, and so grateful for your commitment, what you do, your professionalism, you're pros. The quality of what you do, the importance of what you do. You live in a world that does not appreciate what you do. You know that, and we know that. And for right now, we'd like to take a moment to say thank you for your commitment. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for what you do. Please raise your hand. Okay. Enough of the waving, enough of the recognition, enough of me. Right now, I'd like to introduce Randy and Don Wills. We have a special treat that we have not had before. Once again, we're always raising the bar here, always raising the bar. Tonight, we have live music, and so you guys are good. I have the privilege, once again, of getting to introduce someone. As I said, for most of us, this is amateur night. We walk into a mission like this, and we know so little about it technically. We understand it only to the degree that we've had an experience with it personally, and that's pretty minimally. On the other hand, we are in need of someone who says, this is how this works, and this is how we put this together. What would you like to do? Now, that takes an incredible power and confidence and professionalism to do that, and we're lucky enough to have an executive director who in fact embodies everything I would want an executive director to be, which is at the end of the day, we walk out of the room as the board having made decisions, and she gets to deal with it. You know, at the end of the day, she's the one who looks at the finances, she looks at the program, she looks at the relationships in the community, and she has to evaluate how we move forward. And so we're tremendously thankful that it's just not us, all of us really impressive board members that have to figure this out. We've got a pro that leads us. And so it's important that for those of you who don't know this, that you hear that. This is the person that holds it together. This is the glue. And this is our leader, Debbie Nargowski.
It's kind of like I'm the parent and you're the grandparent, right? That's how it goes. Alan, while you were talking, I was thinking of two things. One was that if things don't work out for you at Winstead and they don't work out for me at the council, maybe we can do something at CBS Sports. The other is that I was thinking about where to hold this, because this is for a recording. It's not for amplification so much. And you were holding it like right about there. And on you, it's here.
It was important that they not be able to hear anything I said.
And on me, it's under my chin. So anyway, thank you. The council is 67 years old this year, and it occurred to me that if it were a human being and it were fortunate, it might be retired by now. But it is not. It is going strong, as are many of us. And I want to take a moment to speak personally about the council, and not so much as a professional. I came to work at the council on October 7th of 1998. The day before the breakfast this year will be my 15th anniversary. Believe it or not. And I just want to say what a privilege that has been. And I'm like all of you. There are days at the end of the day or the end of the week when I'm exhausted and I think, why am I doing this? But I have to say, for the most part, it has been such an honor to serve the council and to do the kind of work that we're privileged to do and to deal with an issue such as this. I had been working in suicide prevention and crisis intervention for the 11 years prior to that. And I have to confess, when I came to the council, even though I knew a lot about behavioral health and mental health, I didn't know a lot about alcohol and drugs. But I learned fast, and I am still learning. You know that saying, I wasn't born in Texas, but I got here as fast as I could? Well, that's sort of how I feel about the council. And in fact, our whole community that shares this mission, it just feels right. It feels like it was the place that I was supposed to be and that I am, and I'm just so thankful for that. many of you work in this field, and others of you have a particular passion for it, and we're so honored by your commitment to it. It's something that we get to do to work with an incredibly important mission, and it's something that we do to work with what is an enormous social concern. And we get to work with a huge quality of life issue, and those of us who do this know how hard that is sometimes to communicate to other people, that this is truly, it's God's work. It's a blessing that we get to do this, and it's tragic that there's a need, but what an honor it is to be able to work with this. I think another thing, aside from the mission, that makes this work so worthwhile is the relationships, and Alan alluded to this as well. The relationships that we make, the board of directors. We actually had a board of directors meeting today, and almost everybody was able to be there, and it was a very alive meeting. We made decisions, we talked about successes, concerns, and it was productive. And that's what we want to walk away from, thinking that we were productive. Relationships with other volunteers, with and among the staff, with community collaborators, with sponsors. And tonight we have sponsors, we have awardees, and we have previous awardees. People who support a safe and healthy and productive future, and people who care about children having a promising future. That's why we do this. Very special work. So how are we doing? Well, financially speaking, everybody wants to know about that. We received good news recently. Earlier this year, we competed aggressively for what was a competitive request for proposals from the Department of State Health Services. And I'm so happy to tell you that we were awarded nearly $2 million a year for the next 5 years. Now, you know and I know that's kind of contingent on what happens in Washington and what happens in Austin, but right now we have the signed contracts that say that's going to happen, and we're moving forward, assuming that it will. Grant funds are great. We love getting grant funds, but events like the Power of Prevention Breakfast are so necessary because guess what? Grants don't pay for everything. They don't pay for administrative overhead. They don't pay for the local match that ranges anywhere from 5 to 100% for those grants, and they don't pay for programs that aren't grant funded. And that's why we have events like the Power of Prevention Breakfast. That's why we have mail campaigns. That's why we write other kinds of more local grant proposals and are always looking for the resources that we need to do this very important work. So what are we doing? Well, I'm going to try and go through this really quickly because it can get tedious. We are nicheless. That's what I say. We are nicheless. We do a variety of prevention and intervention programs, but they're kind of all over the map, and it is an honor for us to be able to be so diversified. I'm going to go through these very quickly, just more like a list. We house the Prevention Resource Center for Health and Human Services Region 3, and we were honored to be awarded that for another 5 years. That is a clearinghouse for information and data collection, data analysis, data dissemination. We are the lead agency for a coalition called Tobacco Free North Texas. We are the lead agency for the Alliance on Underage Drinking and the Dallas Area Drug Prevention Partnerships. All of these are community collaborations where we're able to take a little bit of money and take it very far by getting others to invest in the mission. Coalitions are really multidisciplinary groups of people who come from multiple sectors of the community together to try and change the environment, to change normative thinking about alcohol and other drug issues, and to change the environment in general, population level change. We are the financial and programmatic resource for the Texas Alliance for Drug Endangered Children that protects children living in volatile drug environments. We have programs in the alternative schools for high-risk students. We provide a evidence-based curriculum and one-on-one indicated prevention counseling and alternative activities for students in alternative schools in Dallas, Grand Prairie, and Irving school districts. We have an information helpline. We are the North Texas affiliate for Partnership at DrugFree.org. HIV early intervention case management for individuals who are both chemically dependent and HIV positive. HIV street outreach to recruit, look for people who are abusing substances and either at risk or HIV positive. And we have a program called Minority AIDS Initiative that provides mental health counseling assessments and for substance abuse assessments and mental health assessments and counseling for individuals who are HIV positive and chemically dependent. So that's what I mean by nicheless. But isn't it a rich variety of services that we're able to provide in Dallas County, Denton County, Collin County, in sub-situations, all of North Texas, and in one of them statewide. So I just want to thank you all for the ways that you contribute your time, your talent, your financial resources, your devotion, and your love. You all are the real stars of the show, so I thank you very much. And now I want to introduce Debbie Knaus. Now you can talk. And Debbie is our keynote speaker for the breakfast event on October the 8th. She is a licensed chemical dependency counselor. She's a registered nurse. She is an interventionist, and she is a wonderful new friend that I'm so happy to have in my life, and all of us are happy to have you working with the council. And she is only going to give you a snapshot, a teaser, a little bit about what she's doing and what she's going to talk about on October the 8th.
Thank you. Well, I am very grateful and very honored to be here, and it's just such a joy to be able to integrate into the Dallas community. I served on the board of directors for the Houston Council on Alcohol and Drugs, and then we had a grandchild that called our name to Dallas, and so that's why we're here. His name is Colt. Debbie and I have a couple similarities. We share the same name, but also I got to Texas as fast as I could. And I want to acknowledge a couple people. My husband, Doug, is in the back of 35 years. And then my son, Brandon, who is here, and you can see his artwork at the front. But what I'm going to talk about on October 8th at the Power of Prevention is not so much about the career and the work that we do, but it's also about sharing our story. And we were that family that struggled, and it will actually be 10 years, September 30th, that we publicly shared our story. Some of you may have seen it on the Dr. Phil Show. For the past 10 years, we've been featured on the Dr. Phil Show about our story, but also about the solution. I was frustrated as a family because we couldn't figure out what was the solution for this most amazing, intelligent, wonderful son that we had given birth to. And so that's why we were willing to go public, because I was willing to do whatever it took, which is the same theme we use when we work with families all over the country, is going in for a family in crisis, motivating them to take action, and then activating the appropriate level of care. We will do whatever it takes, if it takes 2 hours, if it takes 24, or we just came off of one of the most difficult cases that took 3 weeks. We fight for your families, and that's what I want to talk about, is not just sharing the struggles and the pain of our personal story, but about what we do and about the solution for families, because when this affects one person in a family, it affects everyone in the family. And so I'm excited. I'm also going to share intimate information that has never been shared on TV. And when I say TV, it's just a small part of our world. But we've been featured on the Dr. Phil Show as the preferred interventionist, on the doctors, and then TLC featured our work on cracking addiction, which is a 1-hour special. Again, I'm delighted, I'm honored to be here to share love and just to motivate and to give people hope, because hope is not an emotion, it's a way of thinking. But thank you for having me here, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait to see you all. And I actually want to become friends with y'all. Okay? It's a cool thing. Thank you.
So we are now going to do our awards, and we spend a little more time on them at the patron party, but these awards will also be given at the breakfast on October the 8th. Our first awardee could not be here tonight, and excuse me, I'm going to read these because I want to make sure that I say everything that's important about these people, and it'll also keep me going. I won't stop and ad lib, and then we'll get done faster. But the first award is the Agent of Change Award, and this is going to Judge John Creuzot, who could not be here tonight. Judge Creuzot, in 1998, launched the Dallas County DIVERT program, which stands for Diversion and Expedited Rehabilitation and Treatment. DIVERT court is for people facing a first-time jail or third-degree felony drug charge. It's an intense rehabilitation court that offers inpatient and outpatient treatment for substance abuse problems and aims to teach clients to live a life of structure, accountability, and sobriety. The program includes a judge, attorneys, case managers, and counselors whose aim is to help people overcome addiction rather than punish them for their mistakes. Judge Creuzot started the DIVERT program at a time when it wasn't a particularly popular idea, but he persisted in promoting his vision, even though it was vastly different from the norm, and it was a lot of extra work. The court is at night, and it was a whole lot of extra work for him. And that hard part has paid off. A 2012 Dallas County study found that DIVERT reduced recidivism by 52%. The feeling in a DIVERT courtroom and a traditional courtroom is different. It's not uncommon to hear applause from supporters of DIVERT participants, and the program in some ways is actually more stringent than typical probation. Since 1998, more than 2,000 people have graduated from the DIVERT program. I had the privilege of attending one of those graduations years ago, and I can tell you the atmosphere is a combination of celebration and immense gratitude. DIVERT was one of the first programs of its kind in Texas. Now there are 135 different drug or substance abuse courts in the state. Only California and New York have more. When I contacted Judge Creuzot about this presentation, he was particularly pleased to be receiving an award called Agent of Change. He said this is because one of the very best outcomes related to drug courts is evidence-based sentencing. According to Gil Kurlikowski, who is the director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy, drug court is what real drug policy reform looks like. By giving nonviolent drug offenders a chance to reclaim their lives through treatment, we can finally begin to break the cycle of drug use, crime, and incarceration in America. You're for that, right, Christina? Yeah, right. Every dollar we spend on supporting this type of drug policy reform pays dividends in safer and healthier communities later on. Judge Creuzot retired as a judge last year and is now in private practice. This seemed like a perfect time to thank him for his vision, for his tenacity, and for his 14 years of service leading the DIVERT court. And he will be at the breakfast to receive this award. This is so much fun. The council is pleased this year to present its collaboration award to Homeward Bound, Inc., represented by its trusty leader, Doug Denton. Doug has been executive director since the founding of Homeward Bound's first program with the Dallas County Adult Probation Department in 1980. Wow, that's longer than You win. You win. That first project was to develop a pilot program for first offenders in need of job placement, housing, and guidance. Doug has successfully managed numerous subsequent contracts, and the organization has grown with support from private donations and funding from sources such as the Texas Department of State Health Services, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and the City of Dallas. Homeward Bound is now one of the largest not-for-profit substance abuse and mental health treatment agencies in Texas, serving more than 6,000 individuals and their families each year. The council and Homeward Bound have been community partners for many years, and I've known you for practically forever. We're both dedicated to a shared mission and working together on a variety of projects and programs, and I'm going to mention just two. The first is, since the mid-1990s, the Council has included in its network of services case management for individuals impacted both by chemical dependency and HIV. I mentioned that earlier. And many people aren't really aware of the strong cause and effect relationship between HIV and other infectious diseases and chemical dependency or substance abuse in general. Well, since 2004, Homeward Bound has offered a specialized statewide residential treatment program for men and women who have HIV, AIDS, and chemical dependency. In the spirit of cooperation, they generously have opened their doors and allowed us to offer educational presentations and HIV testing and case management to their clients. And that's been a wonderful partnership. It multiplies the positive impact of our efforts. The second one is in 2006, Homeward Bound was one of the first organizations to recognize and call out the large number of teenagers in Dallas who were dying from heroin overdoses. In this case, a combination of black tar heroin and nighttime pain relievers, sometimes known as cheese heroin. Key community groups, including Homeward Bound and the Council and Dallas County Juvenile Department and DISD and Dallas County Health and Human Services, came together to tackle this disturbing drug trend, and the result was the establishment of a task force and a community-wide effort to launch prevention activities to get more youth into treatment, to conduct research, and change normative thinking about the dangers of heroin. Homeward Bound was and continues to be a strong supporter of these efforts, and it is my honor on behalf of the Council to present the 2013 Collaboration Award to Homeward Bound.
What an honor to receive this. We have been in the community, we're the new kid on the block, I guess, at 33 years next month. So we've been working in this field, first with young first offenders. We discovered what crack cocaine was doing to this community. We sought to expand our services. And our work with the council has gone back the entire time that we've been in the community. You know, we have sought them out as an information source, education source, and a community partner. In 1996, we received a grant from what was then the Texas Commission on Alcohol and Drug Abuse, today the Department of State Health Services, to expand our work and create what is really the largest detoxification, medically supervised detox unit in the state. And we worked hand in glove with the council on that. Every morning we'd go in and we determine what our capacity was going to be. We'd call the council and say, can you get 5, 6, 7 people in your waiting room ready for us? And they'd say, absolutely. And their team, 7:30 in the morning, would start going through, talking to people, and determining who needed our services most critically. And the van would be there, we'd pick them up, they'd go into service, and it was an incredible partnership. In 1998, we partnered on a dual diagnosis, mental health and substance abuse. I think the council won a $1 million grant for 2 years in 98 and 99 to work with, identify, and address co-occurring disorders. And we took on part of that to screen every client that was coming into detox and try to determine whether they had underlying mental health issues. And we found that over 60% of the clients coming in, primarily for substance abuse, had an identifiable mental health problem that we started to address. That program, as a pilot, grew into what is now known as the co-occurring psychiatric substance use disorder program for the Department of State Health Services, and it's in all jurisdictions throughout the state. You've mentioned some of the other things. 2003 through 2004 fiscal year, we took on the HIV positive substance user and have worked hand in glove with the council through that, Cheese Heroin. It's been an incredible partnership for all these years. I appreciate this award. I am awestruck by this house and the support that all of you that are showing. Thank you very much.
Last but not least, the council is pleased this year to present its volunteer award to Rhonda Sargent Chambers. Rhonda served as honorary chair of our 2013 annual Buzz Free Promises Dress and Tuxedo giveaway. The event took place in February, but Rhonda's work began way before that. Where is Rhonda? Oh, yeah, I can't see because I like to look at you when I'm talking about you. Due to Rhonda's tireless efforts and willingness to ask friends to support our mission, this year's Buzz event took place at the Hilton Anatole Hotel. Trust me, that took us up quite a few rungs. The Anatole provided a ballroom for the opening ceremonies and fashion show, large dressing rooms for boys and girls to try on and select dresses and suits, space for us to serve breakfast and lunch, and breakout rooms for our student education sessions and parents program, all pro bono. To top it off, the Anatole donated free parking for students, parents, chaperones, and volunteers. Wow. If you have ever parked at the Anatole, you know what a treasure that is. And if that weren't enough, Rhonda also arranged for donation of lighting, audio, and staging services by PSAV Presentation Services. It was an all-out rock show. The lights, the music, the runway, it was the most awesome ever. And we've been doing Buzz Free Prom for many, many years. I think best of all, Rhonda spent the entire day with us, emceeing the opening ceremonies and lending a hand in the girls' dressing room. Chaos. Chaos? But wonderful. Controlled chaos, right. Many of the young students who participated in this event never had been in a venue anything like the Anatole. So trust me, they were not only excited about being at the Buzz Free event, but they were jazzed about being at the Anatole. Rhonda, as you can tell, is a former model and now owner of RSC Show Productions. She's been a respected figure in the event production and fundraising community for more than 30 years. Started when you were 5. Rhonda began her modeling career at the age of 15, walking runways around the world. She transitioned from full-time modeling to fashion show production with the creation of RSC Show Productions in 2000. She's a wife and a mom and is active in the community both personally and professionally. She gives her time to other organizations, and these are wonderful organizations such as Children's Cancer Fund, Main Gate Therapeutic Center, Child Abuse Prevention Center, Family Gateway, Big Thought, and the Elisa Project. Rhonda says she's involved with Buzz Free Promises Dress and Tuxedo giveaway because this important event reinforces positive decisions and encourages local high school students to lead healthy lives. It's my honor on the behalf of the council to present Rhonda with our 2013 Volunteer Award.
I need notes. Alan, just like you said, a door opens, and I think I was first invited to the breakfast by Elizabeth Showers and Rudy Gatlin and Scott Murray, and then it began from there. And I love to mentor college and high school kids, and so this was a perfect fit when you guys had come to me and asked me if I would like to help. But I wanted to say thank you to the Breakfast Committee, Advisory Board, the Board of Trustees, homeowners, and all the sponsors here for everything. And this is such an honor, so thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I wanted to talk about the experiential event I think that we had there. And the good news that I have to share is that immediately that day, I'd walked up to Debbie and I said, the Anatole wants to do this again. And so I think that that speaks volumes. And I have notes, but I wanted to tell you, everyone who is involved, the sponsors that I had asked as friends to come and help, they all came up to me and said, what a professional group this is. They enjoyed the council, and the staff did all the work on this show. I just pulled a few favors, and so it worked out beautifully that we were there and the kids had such a great time. And for those of you who weren't there, you know, I'm older than their moms, and I kept thinking, how am I going to relate to them, that they would really listen to the words? Because I wanted them to understand our mission. And so what I did was I thought I could get my diary out. So I got the diary out, and I read the excerpt from my junior year when I had gone to a party, and there were drugs and alcohol, and I chose to leave. And I was ostracized and bullied out in the yard and told I was a goody two-shoe. And I decided to get in the car and leave. And so I read that out of the diary, and I think that I caught their attention a little bit. And so hopefully that helped. The event's incredible, and I appreciate this award more than I could express. And I think it's important that when you put your name out there and you call on your resources and your friends to help you, sometimes it may be a little nerve-wracking because you don't know what the outcome is going to be when you put yourself out there. And I could not have been more proud, of the council and being a part of that group that day. The Anatole, Smartwater, everyone kept coming up to me and saying, "These kids are so great. This is such a great opportunity for them." So thank you so much for this honor. I didn't need my script after all. I didn't bring my glasses. No, I'm teasing. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And last but not least, Janine. This is our breakfast committee chair, Janine Evans.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. So my name is Janine Evans, and it is my honor and my privilege to chair this Power of Prevention breakfast this year. The mission of the council is very near and dear to my heart, and I just can't thank you enough for allowing me to help you guys out and to be here. But really, it is because of the awesome committee that we had this year, and they just worked tirelessly, and Debbie and Nicole Miller just nonstop working on this and such good support. So I want to thank all of the committee members, and I want to thank all of the sponsors for your support, individuals and the corporations, and the board members, advisory board members, and congratulations to all of the award winners. I'm really excited about the breakfast, October 8th at 7 a.m. at Royal Oaks Country Club. And also we have an online auction going on. It started 2 days ago and it ends on October 8th. So please go online and make sure you make a bid. Tell your friends about it. There's a lot of really good items there. And once again, I just thank you for this honor and privilege, and thank you to Patty and Jeff. Patty was a new friend of mine, and like brand new. I'd known her 2 weeks, and I was like, "Hey, how about having this sponsor party at your house?" And you know what? This is how nice Patty is. Didn't hesitate 1 minute, 1 second, and just said, "Absolutely, I would love to." And so it's because of people like that and all of you guys that care and really are willing to put the extra effort out that we can make a difference. So thank you.